If you like this podcast or the previous ones, please consider buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Frankie'sPod. It just goes to help fund the software and the hosting. Hi, welcome back to the podcast. Tonight I'm talking to Richy Thrower. Richy joined the Mercians after joining the army in 2009. I had to look down because I forgot. Hi, Richy, how are you doing?
Good, mate. How are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm cool, mate. It's
Nice
going
one
to
for
be
having us
interesting on
on.
this because you're sat in your car. That's mint. I've not interviewed
Literally.
anyone sat in their car before.
For anyone that's watching, literally got a ring light hanging up there. So, always
It's so
prepare.
cool. Yeah, always be prepared. I'll have to start carrying one round. In fact, I should have like a little go bag with mics in it and just random walk up to people in the streets. Say, you were in the army, weren't you? Yeah, right. Come here. Just as they lock me up for fucking whatever. Yeah, right. It's the
What's in
same.
this bag?
Yeah. Would you believe it's a mic? Yeah. Right. Before we get down that rabbit hole, it's the same 5 questions that I ask everyone. So it's where did you grow up? Why did you join the military? What was it like? Why did you leave? And quite interestingly, for a lot of people, and I've had more feedback on this question than all the others. People are really interested to see what people have done when they've left the military. So that's the last question. What have you done since? So if you just want to start off with, where did you grow up and why did you join the military? And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, of course, mate. So, I grew up in a little town in Cheshire called Crewe. As a kid, like 99% of the army, and especially the guys who go into the infantry, I was, in French terms, a little bastard, and I was more bored than anything. Nothing sort of, wasn't academic. Never got on in school. Got expelled in year 10 and got put on study leave until my exams. And it was just literally because he couldn't cope with me in school. I was just a hyperactive little shit. He was completely bored. I could not sit still for more than 2 minutes. I'm exactly the same still now. And yeah, it was, you're always fighting and you're always this, and everyone always said, you need to go in the army. It'd sort you right out. It's either that or you're probably going to go to jail. So, ended up sitting with GCSEs, completely flunked them. Like, it was terrible. I could spell fudge with the results. It literally said FUDGE down the page. And I thought that was the best thing ever.
I still do. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I still do. So left school, and my dad said, listen, you're going in the army, and that's it. I can't handle you at home anymore. It's too much. The police are knocking on the door, people coming around the house, and scrapping all the time. And I think he was more worried than anything.
Yeah.
So I said that, and a couple of months later, I was like, I don't want to join the army anymore. I can't even remember what I was going to do, but I had no plan anyway. I just didn't want to. I didn't like the idea of going anymore. But when I said that to him a couple of months after that, he was like, listen, you're either going in the army because you ain't living here. If you don't go, you're going, that's it, shit bust. So I ended up going in. I did junior entry. So went to the careers office. Obviously, I had no GCSEs. Had no experience in anything else. I'd obviously just left school. So like, originally I wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to do, because I'd always been into cars, and I used to bag off school to go to work with my mate to be a mechanic in the afternoons. So I always wanted to do mechanicking, a vehicle mechanic, and
Yeah.
I couldn't do it because I had no GCSEs and had been expelled from school. So they were like, you can't, you need to go in the infantry. It's the only thing you can go in. Or it was like RLC, they could have said, which, let's face it, nobody wants to do.
Hey,
but that's another story.
The only thing you're not allowed to join is the RAF regiment.
Yeah.
So we'll throw that one out there.
But yeah, so joined the infantry, did junior entry, went ATR Winchester, and that was 6 months basic. Did the 6 months, and then I went to Catterick for my phase 2. So it was it was always difficult for me to listen to people. I always really struggled, and it was a big old reality check, and it did completely, because I think we did after 6 weeks. I think you do your first 6 weeks at Winchester, and then it wasn't a pass out parade. It was when, and I don't know whether you did something similar, Frankie, or not, but when you get your parents to come down, like, everyone was issued the proper uniform, you get your first set of, like, well, they weren't even twos, it was like like your green woolly jumper, green, like, overall trousers and stuff like that. So it's like a mini pass out parade, but you're not passing out of training. And after them 6 weeks, I was completely different. I was still a wild little shit, but it was a little bit more controlled. So I say a little bit is a very broad term. So we did that, went to Catterick, passed out of there, and ended up going to a place called Bad Fallinbostel in Germany, which I don't know whether you know it. It's just down the road from Bergen-Belsen. Yeah,
I know Fally. I spent a long time in Hona.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
I left Hona in 2006, actually. Yeah.
Blimey, bloody hell.
Yeah, spent a long time there with 3
Blimey.
hours.
Did you ever go across the road, Frankie? Outside the barracks?
Do you know what? And it's weird, right? What was it called? Ooh La La's. That was it. Right. We used to go. Everyone used to go in there. Everyone. Because when the bar shut downtown, that was still open. So you'd go in there just for another drink, and you'd see everyone would be in there. They weren't going in there for a shag. I know it was a knocking shop. There weren't. I mean, there was obviously people who were, but the wives were in there. The blokes were in there. There was fucking blokes with the wives in there, and they were just literally because the place was still open. You could get a beer or a pizza. You could get something to fucking eat. You know what I mean? So it was. But I was married at the time, so no, I never.
I'm yet to meet any other profession in the world where every lad, say 99% of the lads that work there, will go to one place on payday and spend a month's wage in one night.
Oh, yeah. Millionaire's weekend. Too right.
Literally. And then, they're marching into the office in the morning going, I can't pay for scoff anymore. I need what's it called? I can't remember what they used to call it. Do you remember the lads when they used to get, what was it called? When you take out your wage at the end of the month and there's a lump sum, but we used to get charged. Like somebody. That's it. But yeah, so we did that, spent 5 years in Fally. 4 years in Fally. And then I'd left, I'd done Afghan, done Herrick 14. And that was a real eye opener. Like that's what turns you into a man. If they say it was a shit holiday, but the weather was good. But
let's go back a bit. Training.
Oh, sorry, I've gone well over the top. You only said where did you fucking grow up?
Right. If we go back to training, so you said your old man said you got to join and all that. You end up in a shit.
Yeah.
Go on the streets and that. But did you have any idea what it was going to be like?
Not a fucking clue.
Know anyone in the military before that or no?
No. So my cousin went, but I think my cousin was in the signals, but only for a very, very short period of time. So no. I tried cadets as well. Like I think I'd been 3 or 4 times, and I couldn't deal with the fact that I'd gone there and there was some fucking 11-year-old sergeant major trying to fucking tell me what to do, and I was just like, this is bollocks, man. So I couldn't do it. I couldn't physically do it. So I did that, and then I also did in school. We did like a work experience thing, and it was, I don't know if you've heard of it. It was at Swinnerton, just outside of Stoke. If you've ever heard that, it's like an old, it's like not a nuclear base, but this old base. It had a load of like nuclear bunkers there. Which is an amazing place, but we did like a work experience sort of thing. So I think we went there for a couple of days, and we literally just got fucking beasted around for 2 days. And we were only 13 at the time, something like that. But I loved it, absolutely loved it. I was like, this is fucking nothing like cadets. This is brilliant. So I'd gone there, and I was just like, I could probably do this. Oh, you there, Frankie? You there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here.
You went then.
Right. Yeah, but it does that. Just keep going.
Yeah. So okay, mate. So yeah, I'd really enjoyed that. And I just thought, yeah, this is fucking brilliant. This is a bit more manly, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than the sort of poncy cadet thing with 11-year-old sergeant majors and that. So I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, I'll join the army when I finish. Um.
So
So yeah,
the discipline then when you got to training, like, as a recruit, how did you
did
handle
the
that? Because I've got a
did the
feeling,
what? Sorry.
the discipline, like the guys telling you what to do, the discipline of the army and stuff like that. Because I get the feeling that you don't really like that. I've got, from
Hate it.
talking to you. Yeah.
Hate it. But Um, I think it was a big shocker for me from going to not listening to fucking anyone to having to listen to people. And yeah, it was weird, but I kind of adapted to it quite quick. To be honest with you, like because you had, it was probably like a respect thing. I didn't listen to teachers because they were dickheads. A lot of them, and a lot of them were, dickheads to me in the sense of like the things they used to say and stuff, which probably was the main reason why I didn't listen to them. But when you went into the army and you've got people, with all these experiences, done all these tours, have done all these mental things in life, there's respect for them there for just doing what they've done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I found it a lot easier to listen to them because of everything they could back up everything that they've done, and you had a bit more respect for people. Do you know what I mean? So I was
Yeah.
completely amazed by, um, I think we had a full screw medic, and he'd done, I think it was like 8 tours or something like that at the time. He was like, yeah, I've been Iraq, been Afghan, I've been Northern Ireland, been all these places, like all fighting tours. And it was just like, fucking hell. So you're like basically action man as a ninja. Do you know what I mean? And I just thought like these people were like fucking hell, like you've been to 8. Couldn't believe it. I was like, you've been to 8 wars and like not died. And like that was like the sort of headspace I was in when I was meeting all these people, and it was just like fuck, And they tell you all these stories, and like you can't not respect them sort of people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it is the guys that go and sent off to like Pearbright and Harrogate and places like that. They are the best. You're
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the dross there.
yeah,
They sent the
yeah, yeah,
dross on the other ERE postings where you want to get rid of them.
yeah, yeah.
I'd
No,
like to plenty
absolutely.
of them ones. The
Yeah,
so you've got to pick the right guy to go in the right job. And
yeah,
I interviewed my old battery commander recently, who got out he was a full colonel when he got out, but he was the CO at Pearbright.
yeah,
And I said to him, I said, "Oh, well, you're upset getting that as your command instead of a fighting unit." He says, "Initially, yes, but once I got there and seen what was happening and the way people were getting trained, and you've got to remember everyone who joined up in your time
yeah,
knew that soon after coming out of training, you were going to go to the desert. You were going to
yeah,
go to a sandy place.
yeah,
And there was no way, especially joining like the infantry. There's no way of
yeah,
getting in with that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So and when he mentioned that to me, I thought to myself, "Fuck me, yeah." So I tip my
Yeah,
hat off to people who joined around your time. You know what I mean? When I joined, there was nothing happening. I joined in 1985. Fucking like you hadn't even thought of then. You know what I mean? The,
yeah,
the fucking hell, I'm getting old. The there was fuck all happening. I didn't do a tour till '88 when we did an emergency tour in Northern Ireland. Fucking we've got plenty in afterwards. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah, yeah,
it was
yeah,
quite dead. And then in the early '90s, it was you just done exercise, Canada exercise, stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, Bosnia kicked off, which was great, another story. Um,
yeah,
and then after 2011, or well, after actually 2003 with Iraq, that
yeah,
was it, wasn't it? It was like fucking hell.
yeah, yeah,
2011. I was thinking of 2011 and 2011 is completely wrong fucking time. Yeah, but after like 2003, it just kicked off for everyone. So anyone who
yeah,
joined after that knew they were joining to go to war, more or less.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whether you realised that or not when you joined
I
is
didn't
another
know.
thing.
No, but now you've mentioned it. Yeah.
But he said he took his hat off to all these people that were joined because they knew they were going in and going off. And I was like, fucking hell, I never thought of it that way. We'd see
Shit
kids come to
holiday.
regiments. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've been worse places.
You could say that you get a nice tan, but you fucking didn't because you had that much kit on. You couldn't get a tan.
Oh, you're lucky. When I was out there, mate, we never got the fucking kit. You know what I mean? But I never went. I'm lucky. I never went to Afghan. Yeah, I never did Afghan. I'm quite lucky at that. I was too old, too fat, and downgraded. So I never got to do that. But I was just, I've done, done my
Fate, mate.
shit.
Yeah, wasn't meant to be.
No, thank fuck. That's all I was doing. I've interviewed too many people from Afghan and seen too many of my mates out there, and the state that some of them have come back. I'm fucking glad I didn't get involved in that shit. I really am. I don't care what. Yeah. Right. Anyway, so back to that. Oh. So what was it like leaving training and getting to your unit then? Because that's when you start really growing up.
Definitely.
Or getting knocked down, I should say.
Yeah. And it's so it was so much more relaxed, you know what I mean? I fucking loved battalion because training was good, but you're fucking marching everywhere. You fucking can't go anywhere without marching in groups, and there's just all them restrictions. And it's like, right, you can do all these things now, and you've got hardly any of them restrictions. Everyone's sound, do you know what I mean? Like, I can remember the first time I called a full screw, what's it called, corporal, and he turned around and went, "You fucking what? Fucking call me corporal. It's fucking mate or mucker or something." Do you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, "What? I'm allowed to do that?" He was like, "You ever call me corporal again, I'll fucking punch your head in." It was just like, all right, sound. So I was like, buzzing. I could just fucking speak to people normally, and I loved the drinking that at the time and stuff, and I fit in quite well because I was fucking a wild card anyway. So I fit straight in, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I was actually, because we went to Germany, I lived there as a kid for 5 years, so I was fluent in German as well. So that's why I joined Freemason, because I knew that they were in Germany, and I was fluent in German, and I wanted to go back to Germany because we lived there as kids. So I was like fucking buzzing. I loved it when we were over there. So
yeah,
I was buzzing to go back, sort of thing.
There was no I've had loads of guys get into the unit, and I've interviewed paras, which is a completely different fucking life, completely different. No, they're not allowed to do fucking anything when they get to their battalion. Even when I got to my regiment, when I left training,
the initiation.
Well, I was quite lucky in a way. There wasn't. It happened, but it never happened to me. I never got fucking strung up in grease and fucking beat the shit out or all like that. It didn't happen to me. Happened to plenty of other people, and I've fucking been involved in doing it as well.
Mate, we had an initiation. So first night we went out on the piss and did a top shelf pint and got absolutely fucking blottoed. So we did that, stayed out, and I just drank it. The other lad didn't drink his, and he was like, and he was literally, this is disgusting. He was drinking his, and he was sick a bit in his cup and went, no, I can't drink that. So I necked mine, and then I picked his up and necked his. So I was like, fucking hero. So then stayed out, and I was absolutely obliterated. So we got back, and we had a section commander at the end of our block. And he was like, right, get your fucking DOS mats out. So we got all you can remember the floor mats, the green floor mats. Where you put your DOS mats on top. So we got them. And we was like, right. So these were new lads. So we're like, right, winner stays on. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? He's like, hold your arms out. And I thought, fucking hell, what's he going to do? Puts these fucking mats on her arms. So we're fucking, straight arms. You got these fucking DOS mats on your hand. And he was like, right, fucking whoever doesn't get knocked out wins. There's 4 of you. So I was like, I fucking got this, mate. I went in on people big time. So we were just smashing each other up with these fucking mats on our arm. But you couldn't bend your arms, so we were just like, But I'll never forget that, because the next day I must have pulled on my bicep because I couldn't. I woke up the next day and I couldn't move my arms. I was like, my arms are fucked. But it must be obviously because I was hitting people at the end of this bag, and it was fucking hyperextending my arm every time I was hitting someone. But yeah, apart from that, I mean, you hear so many stories, and I never had anything like that. And I know loads of people that have said the same as well. It's maybe a bit of an older thing, maybe. I don't know.
I think it is.
I don't know.
I spoke to a guy last week. He's got his own podcast called Guys Talking. You've got to say that term, because if you don't, it sounds like guys stalking, and I'm not stalking no guys. Very different YouTube channel, that one, I think. But lovely bloke called Phil, and we talked a lot about. So he joined in the 90s, and there was still a lot of that. Let's call it a bullying culture, really. As to what it was. I mean, to us, it wasn't. It was just fucking life and banter.
It's like normality, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's just what you're used to. But the army changed, and it had to, and in a good way. Whether people agree with that or not, it had to change. It really did. It was, and round about the time that you joined and later, I didn't see any of that, that bullying, let's call it, the banter, the initiations, some initiations I've seen are fucking horrendous.
I can imagine.
Some of them involve like deep heat in certain places, put it that way. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, poor kid. Anyway, it wasn't me. Did not do that one. Yeah, but it's got better and better and better. And whether that's changed the way people are in the military, I don't know. The older guys will say, "Yeah, well, it was harder in my day." Well, yes, it was. But then again, it was harder when the Romans came to Britain. It's not then. It's very much later now. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, the old guys will say it's a bad thing. The younger guys will say it's a good thing. The liberals will say it's a good thing.
When I joined, I think there was a good balance. Do you know what I mean? I think now, fucking hell, some of the stories I'm hearing now is insane. Like, apparently they've got red and yellow cards now.
Oh, it's gone past that. They've got iPads now.
What?
They've got iPads. They do questionnaires on a night time and stuff like that.
Fuck off.
Yeah. But again, it's a very different world. It's not that long. You joined in 2009. Right? It's 2024 now. You look at how different it was when you left school to what it is now. It's a very, very different world.
Yeah, but I get that. I just think it's gone even in the world. Yeah. But I think with the whole world, mate, it's gone. Everything has gone too pink and fluffy now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's not the people we want in the military. But that's all we've got, so that's what we've got to make do with. And then the ones that you've got to train to go out and do what you did, to go out and fucking face danger and run towards the battle instead of sitting back and being away from it.
You can't get no fucking iPad out when you're coming under contact.
I don't know. I think you do that. You control a drone with it. You know what I mean? Who'd have thought it would happen that? Little drones fucking
that's crazy,
taking out tanks and stuff. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So what was your first tour then when you left, or once you got to your battalion? What was the first tour?
So it's Afghan. Yeah. So I only did the one tour. But yeah, I did Afghan, and that was Eric 14. That was, and I went there when I was 18.
I bet that's a fucking shit guy.
Mental, and it wasn't at the time. It's only like recently where my little cousins recently turned 18. And I look at him now and I think, fucking hell, like, you are a kid, like, you are a child, like, it's a fact, you can barely wipe your own arse, do you know what I mean? And you went to a war zone when you were that old, and I was like, fucking, that is mental. Crazy. When you look back and you think, the shit you've done at that age, I came back from Afghan, and I just appreciated everything more than anything. And I'm sure loads of people can relate to that in the sense of, I just, you go over there and you see everything that people haven't got. and how people are living and stuff like that. We'll wake up sometimes and be fuming you can't get a cup of coffee because the fucking coffee shop's shut. And I always think back to that and think, well, fuck me, like, imagine what they're going through, whether it's trying to find food, whether, the fucking kids stepped on an IED. Do you know what I mean? Like, all sort, like, our problems are nowhere near as bad as their problems over there. So, and seeing that at such a young age, it proper humbled me, like, it really did. Like, we go around and, kids are begging you for, like, food and stuff like that, and, trying to fucking pull the ECM off your bag, and you don't know who's being told to try and fuck the ECM up, because that's what they'd do that as well when we were there. Terry Taliban would say, right, they've got ECM on the back, the guy with the big fucking antenna sticking out, go and unplug that or go and try and screw it off. Do you know what I mean? And they used to pay the kids to do it. So then the ECM didn't work, so you walk down and they go, whoop.
So was it like a kinetic tour for you, that one, or was it kind of mild? I mean, I don't think the nations had all the time over there at all, did they?
No, I wouldn't say mild. Like, it was fucking hairy, mate. Like, the whole time that I was there, and not luckily, because it's not luckily, but we'd lost one of the lads, and that's when it really fucking, really was like, shit. Like, this isn't a game. Do you know what I mean? This is fucking real life. And because I always thought all the way, because I think everyone had gone out there in September, and I wasn't 18 until November. So I went shortly after I was 18. And I was like, I can't wait to go on tour, can't wait to go. And all the older boys in there were like, listen, just be careful what you wish for. It's not necessarily what you think it's fucking cracked up to be. And I was like, listen, I've been fucking here. I've been here for 2 years. This is what I've been wanting to do. I want to just go. And they're like, yeah, but just listen. And, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I want to fucking go. And it was only when you come under that first bit of contact and you're like, and you hear that, and you're like, oh, shit, this isn't funny. But even though it sort of was, because my mate Tilly, and if you post this on TikTok, he'll comment on it, because this was brilliant, but not brilliant. So first time we ever come under contact, we were on an op in Porpoiseye, and them first rounds start cracking and stuff starts hitting the wall. I fucking looked at Tilly, my mate, and just started pissing myself laughing at him. And just looked him straight in the eyes and went, and started laughing my head off. And he just looked back at me and started laughing back at me. You fucking idiot. Oh. So we're just giving each other shit. And I'm going like, get him next to me. Don't, and you're like, you're fucking getting shot at. And you're having a laugh and a joke. And I sort of said to him that after everything had finished, cavalry came in, sorted everything out, it was all sorted. And Tilly just came up to me and was like, are you all right? And I was like, what the fuck? I was laughing my head off. And he was like, mate, most people do it. He says, you either laugh your head off, cry, or just freeze. He says, I'm yet to meet someone who didn't do one of them three. He said, so yeah, he said, as long as you're all right now, I was like, yeah, let's go. I'm all right.
Buzzing your tits up, yeah.
This is fucking adrenaline at its best. And, luckily nothing happened to anyone. But yeah, I think at that age, just fucking, it's mad when you look back and you think how early in life you actually are.
Yeah, I mean, I work with kids. I say kids, the early 20s. The kids to me.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's like they seem to have no life experience.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and I think
you don't have to do anything hard.
No, well, they're doing the work with me. They do everything.
Stand to.
I wonder if I can incorporate that into the office. I don't think I can. Yeah. This digging in outside, I don't think I'd get away with that, no. Although I might try.
Plus, give it a go.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like, so what was the you say you experienced the rush of the first contact and stuff like that. What was like it? How did everyone gel while they were out there? I mean, I was in the
Unbelievable.
artillery, so I don't really appreciate how close. And I know because I've worked with the infantry, and I know how
Yeah,
close like the platoons, the troops, the sections, they all are together.
yeah,
What was your little community? Let's call it a community, for want of a better word.
yeah.
What was that like in the face of adversity?
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It was. You'll never, and I've always said this to anyone like, and anyone that's been in, I'm sure it's any part of the forces, you will never meet lads like it anywhere else, in any other job, anywhere else in the world. Like, the fucking laughs, and, you could, just an example, say for instance, you all went out on the piss, there could be fucking 50 blokes stood in the middle of the road, and there could be 10 of yous, and, we had it quite a lot in Germany where you're fighting all the Turks and stuff like that all the time. But you could have 50 of them in front of you, and there'd be 10 of yous, and every single person, man, or even woman that you're with will fucking stand there and back you up.
Yeah.
And I'm yet to meet any other group of people in the world that will do exactly that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, the loyalties, it's unsurpassed, really.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah,
think I get quite fucking it up now with how full of shit people are outside of the army. Like now, I've really, really fucking struggled with, because I went in security when I left. Just skipping forward a little bit, and the fucking attitude of civvies in general is totally different. You know, we were always told that no matter how shit the situation is, no matter how shit the job is, it gets fucking done, and it gets done 110%.
yeah,
When you try and tell someone that's not been in the army that, they can't comprehend it. They
no,
don't physically get it. And I'm like, I really, and still today, I really, really, really struggle with that, with the difference in attitude. And I'm just like, well, just fucking do it. Whatever it is. And nobody else has got that mindset. So I really, really struggle. And even now, it's still, it's stuck.
I experienced loads of that when I got out. I couldn't
Yeah.
understand why, when somebody has to do something, they didn't do it
There's a
there and then.
fucking choice, like.
Well, just like there and then, you'd be like, right, this needs doing, right. So I'd go off and do it, and they go, "Have you done such
Yeah,
and such?" I did it ages ago. Or, well, you're supposed to. What? Yeah,
yeah,
and I struggled, and I still struggle now and again where I tell people to do stuff, and it doesn't
yeah,
get done. It's took me a while to sit back and go, hang on a minute.
yeah,
Somebody said this to me, and it took a while for it to sink in. Right?
yeah,
They're not wrong. We are.
yeah,
As
yeah,
citizens,
yeah,
we're the ones who are wrong. We're the ones who are in their world. So we
yeah,
have to
yeah, yeah,
conform to them, whether we like it or not.
yeah,
Unfortunately, that is the gist of it. That's the way it should be. We don't
yeah.
have to like it. We don't have to agree with it. We have to fucking whinge at each other about it because that's what we
Exactly.
do. And we have the
Happy
ability
unless you're
to,
moaning.
yeah. De Villiers wrote in one of his memoirs, the soldier's never happy unless he's moaning.
Yeah,
And there's nothing truer. Sorry, there's
yeah,
no
yeah,
truer
yeah.
word
You're
about
dead right,
that
mate.
is true.
You're
Definitely
dead
is.
right.
If they're all whinging, that's all right. It's a good
We're
day.
happy.
If they're quiet, that's when you've got to worry. If they're
One
quiet, the
hundred
morale's
percent.
fucking that low. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
One
no,
hundred.
we've got to fit into their world, unfortunately, because it is their world. We were there to protect them, and whether we feel aggrieved that we don't get, um, you know, recognised
Yeah,
enough and stuff like that, that's another thing.
yeah, mate.
That's
You
gone
should
on
have seen
since
me.
Roman times.
Honestly, I used to get. So when I went in security, I started out as obviously security guard and I was doing the doors. This is when I got out. And then went supervisor, manager, general manager, ops director. And through that whole time, like the MD, because I was very good, I was very good at my job, and I always got stuff done. So the MD
Yeah,
loved us to bits in that sense. but the fucking piles of complaints that he'd have off people about me was unbelievable. Richy Thrower, I was doing a job I was walking around on a patrol, and I've got Richy Thrower shouting across the site going, "Stop fucking minting, you cunt, and get around that site." I was one of them, and I was just like, yeah, he was bimbling around, and like the MD's like, "Rich, I wasn't even in the army, but I can tell that you still think you're in the army."
Yeah.
He's like, "It's not like that. They don't get paid a lot of money. They're walking around slowly. People have got injuries. Like, fucking get rid of them." And it's just that straight away, like, snap attitude. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I say, it is hard. You know, we've got to appreciate their world. You know, whether we want to be in it or not. So, what made you actually decide to leave the military then?
Mate, so what it was, so this is a bit of a shit story, this one. So basically, I'd come back from Afghan, and about a month after I'd come back, went on R&R, and my best mate ended up having a motocross accident. And cut a long story short, I went to Birmingham Hospital, and he said, "Listen, I'm going to have to turn the life support machine off at 7:30 in the morning, or whatever time it was, early in the morning. And, you know, if not, he's going to die anyway, so we need to turn the machine off." So he'd banged his head, and his brain was bruised, and the swelling was going to kill him, sort of thing. And this was my fucking best mate. So I come back from Afghan thinking, right, I'm safe, everything's fine, I'm appreciating everything. You know, I was really happy that I was at home, and then the life just sort of went, boom, have that, you cunt. So that really spanned me out, but it was probably the fact more so that when I was at the hospital, and I went outside to make a phone call because I was meant to be in Warminster on the Monday on a my RS2 signals course, and I rang me platoon sergeant at the time, and I was like, "Listen, my best mate is literally dying. He's going to be, you know, they're going to turn his life support machine off in the morning. I am not physically or mentally there to go. Like, I could not stop, you know, in absolute bits." And he turned around and he went, "It's not immediate family. Get to your fucking course." Boom. Put the phone down. So I was just like, wow, as if, you absolute cunt. So I just sort of went,
The thing
right.
is, that's the way it was. That's the way it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just thought, fucking hell, I can't believe this. So I didn't try and ring you back or anything like that. I then, the next morning, I rang my sergeant major and I said, "Listen, sir, this is what's going on. I rang my platoon sergeant. He said this. I need to be here. Like, I can't, if I come back now, I will be a fucking mess, and I don't know what I'll do. Like, I am a live wire at the minute. Like, and all I want to do is just see me best mate off. They've just turned life support machine. He's just died this morning. I'm in fucking bits." And fair play to him. He turned around and he said, "Listen, I can't say anything for you to do anything different than what he's told you to do. But I'm not going to think any worse of you for you staying off to go to your best mate's funeral." So I was like, right, okay, yeah, brilliant, nice one, really appreciate that. He said, "Listen, just go to the funeral. I'll see you when you're back. We'll get it sorted, don't worry." So I stayed off, went to the funeral, and went back to Germany after the funeral. But it took sort of 3 weeks because it was an accident on a private track at an event. They had to do all this inquest and look into the track and why it happened and stuff like that. So they couldn't sort of release his body to, you know, be cremated. So I'd got back and I'd walked into camp and I seen my platoon sergeant, the lad who turned around and said, you know, and said all that fucking get back to your course and stuff. And he came up to me. I'll never fucking forget. He came up to us and he went, "Was it really worth it, was it? Did you say your goodbyes? You're going to go to fucking jail now." And I just beat the fuck out of him. Just absolutely pummeled him. Like, and I was in fucking tears doing it, mate. Like, I was still not in a good place at all, like, at all. I absolutely beat the living fuck out of him. So straight away, jail. And basically, and it wasn't Collie, it was literally into on the other side where Four Scots were based while I was waiting to be charged for being AWOL. And because the army had the way I thought of it was, I've fucking done all these things for you. I've been to fucking Afghan, I've been through all this hell and training and all these things, and you're going to fucking treat me like that. And now you're going to charge me for staying off for my best mate's funeral at home. And I just went, fuck you, I'll go on a fucking rampage. So I just went nuts and completely, should not have done it. I just completely went mentally fucked. And I just couldn't handle it. And I just became an absolute nightmare. So in a sort of quiet room, they were literally, right, you want to go, you can go. Fuck off. Like, we'll MD you, we'll get rid of you, gone. They can't handle you. Like, I was just running around cracking everyone. I was punching everyone. I wouldn't fucking listen to anyone. I just had this massive, massive fucking hump on my back about the army. I was fucking telling people, because when I'd come back, they were saying, right, we're going to need to do a CDT. I was like, sound, let's do a CDT. I'll do one. I've been smashing loads of drugs while I've been away. Purposely, so I don't fucking... So I was that mentally gone. I was like, Sam, let's go. Come on, we'll go now. I'll do 3 tests if you want to make sure. And like the bloke, like me, one of the section commanders who was meant to take us down, he was like, well, do you want me to hide you? Like, should we try and dodge this? Like, if you want. I was like, no, fuck that. Let's go. I want to fucking get out of here. Like, I've had enough. And it's crazy. Like, I was just not in a good place at all. So then I just got
nobody there. I mean, I can sit here in hindsight.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably will in hindsight. I can sit here knowing from just what you said there that you were fucked. You needed help.
Yeah. Nothing.
You needed help, and there was no one there just to sit back and go.
Absolutely no one, mate.
It wasn't
No
like
one.
this before Afghan. It wasn't like this before that.
No.
Whether we look back now with rose-tinted glasses or whatever, and we go, actually,
Yeah.
because we're better at this.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I've seen loads of people have bad times in the army, and it was you fucking stayed clear of them because no one thought about mental health and stuff like that. But this wasn't that long ago. People were thinking about it then. Somebody should have just went, hang on a minute, and fucking reined you in and went, sit down, talk, listen, what's going on?
Nothing, mate.
And you had none of that.
Nothing.
Mm-mm.
I literally sat in front of the RSM, and he was, he said, the provost staff were in there and all that, and the provost staff, right, you cunt, get out there now, and fucking, when they said, you're getting court-martialed, taken to jail, and took me, and when he said, I've obviously he's read all my statement out, and this, that, and the other, and I can't remember exactly what he said, and it was something along the lines, it's like, you're a fucking embarrassment to the army, and this, that, and the other, you've fucking gone AWOL, and this, that, and I stood there in front of the, and I was fucking tears coming out of my eyes, like, he was just mentally fucking destroying me, mate, while I was there, and all as I'd done is stayed off to go to a mate's funeral, and I was getting treated like the biggest dickhead in the world for doing it, and I just had this massive, and it was just making things worse and worse and worse. And just completely lost my head. Completely fucking lost my head.
I mean, going AWOL is not the end of the world. I know for a fact because I was AWOL for nearly 7 months.
Yeah.
I got married now, fucking signed on the dole when I was AWOL. I was doing
deployment as an
electrician. Yeah, I got bored of having no money, so I went to sign on the dole.
That is class.
Yeah.
How did they find you?
Right.
Come on. I'm going to pull it back on you now because I'm interested in this. How did they fucking get you?
I might have been a little drunk one night and gone for a walk, and I got lost. And basically, where I lived where we were living in Jarrow at the time, we lived right next to the metro station, and the railway tracks. And I found myself on the railway tracks, going, right. Well, if I follow these along, I'll get off at the station and then I know where I am.
Oh no.
So I was doing that, but just as I'd climbed down this embankment to get on the tracks, a guy going to work who was going over the flyover, the clock was doing it. The
Yeah.
guy going to work was a copper going for his night shift. So
Right.
he pulled in and like went, right, okay, what the fuck's he doing? And just watched me walk all the way along the tracks, drove down the road after me. He pulled up at the metro station and walked onto the platform. As I'm climbing up onto the platform, I was like, hello. You know, this copper stood there in uniform. He's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm lost. Where do you live? Live over there, just around the corner. What's your name? Told him my name. And he was like, on the old mic and that. And he went, no, you don't live there. I says, I do. He says, you don't. I said, I've only lived there for 6 months. He went, you don't. I went, oh, fuck's sake. I went, I'm AWOL, mate. And he went, oh, fucking hell. You know, he hadn't even clocked in for the night. And he's like, fuck's sake.
He
He's like,
stitched you up.
and he's like, how long? He goes, how long you been AWOL? I says, since April. And he's like, it's fucking November. He goes, I've got to nick you. He goes, I can't not nick you. It turned out he was an ex-squaddy. And he'd said, like, if I'd said it was a couple of weeks, he was just going to go, come on, fuck off. And send me on. He goes, I can't do that. And they put us in there, they locked us up for the night. And they had every guy who was on that night shift were all ex-squaddies. So they brought me tins of beer in and fish and chips.
That's class. That's fucking.
And then, but I was saying I was married at the time. She was pregnant. They actually went up to the house, got her, brought her down so that she could say to us. Just didn't know when I was going to see her again. I got they took me overnight. Took me to Catterick the next morning. The RMPs come and picked us up. I did 4 nights in Catterick. They sent 4 guys up from a unit to pick us up from Thorney Island on the south coast. 68 days close arrest over Christmas, New Year, my 21st, which was nice. And then went to jail. And my daughter was born, and I got out of jail 3 weeks later. So I didn't see she was 3 weeks old. You know, it's one of them
Why
things.
did you go AWOL, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I'll tell you what I told the CO. All right,
Okay.
I wasn't AWOL. I was late. Might have been a long time late. They changed the times of the bus, and I didn't know. So I was turning up every morning to get the bus to go to the central station, and I kept missing the bus. So I didn't. It's just literally
squaddy answer.
Well, he sat there smiling because they'd said to me, like, "Don't worry about it, because you've done 68 days in close arrest. We'll ensure that you only do 56 days and then get discharged. And because you've already done that, you're literally going to walk out the court martial centre, and that'll be it." And when we were stood there, and they said the sentence, and he goes, 198 days. I lost 2 days remission. Yeah, no, 196 days. Soldier on. And I just like stared at him, and then looked at me defending officer, and he just walked out. He walked out. He was shit. Bless him. He just got given it at the last minute. The adjutant who was prosecuting me didn't give me a better report. And I was like, when he was reading it out, and I was thinking, are they on about me? That's some fucker else they're on about. I'm not that good, you know. Yeah. And to be honest, it did me the world of good. I wouldn't say it did me the world of good, but I come back a different person. I came back I mean, it's even been mentioned to me years later. Someone mentioned me on Facebook because we were on about like people who'd been in that final RV group and stuff like that. And somebody said, I remember when you come back from college, you were a different person than when it was you went in. You were
what, better or worse?
Better soldier, obviously, because everyone comes out there better soldier. But just my attitude in general was better than most, or better than most when I went in. I was still, as I found out when I got back to the regiment were on leave, on Easter leave, and I was up at the back of camp. And I said, right, you're bed for the night. And there was, you'd have to just go into the block and find someone's fucking empty pit for the night. Because you're going to go and sign for a quarter on the Monday morning. So I rocked up at the block and walking around the block, and I'd never even lived in that block. It was literally, we'd come back from Germany, went on leave, and I never come back. Because we got posted to the UK. Walk around the block, I'm like, fucking hell. And this kid come fucking walking out of another room. Like, who the fuck are you? Oh, fucking stranger in our
Yeah,
book,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
right. That's exactly what he should have done. He's like, who the fuck you? Who do you think you are? And I says, oh, what? I was like, where? Who the fuck are you? I said, I'm Frankie Dunn. And his fucking blood just drained out of his face. I was like, what the fuck's going on? He goes, oh, hiya, weren't expecting you back, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fucking hell. And I was like, what's going on? So basically what they've been telling all the new lads who joined the regiment was, you fucking wait till Frankie gets out and they use a for it. He's going to fucking screw you. Right? Every time they did something wrong, I was the bogeyman. You know what I mean? So I like rocks up and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Everyone like running away from me. It was like the reverse of the Pied Piper. You know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
Class.
Because I signed for my quarter, then went home to meet my daughter, because I'd never met her. They had a week's, the battery had told us, you're not having any leave. I was like, right, okay. BC wants to see
So what
you.
were you then, artillery?
Yeah, I was artillery, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Sergeant Major had said, like, the BSM, he's like, right, you're not getting any leave. I said, well, I have to. I've fucking been locked up for like fucking ages. I want some leave. You're not having any. You're not entitled to it. I'm pretty sure I am. And he's like, no, you're not. That's right. So I went in to see the battery commander and he was welcoming me back to the fucking battery. And he was like, yeah, come in. How are we doing? Blah, blah, blah. And sit down. I was like, what? Told him about my daughter. And he was like, right, what are you doing here? And he called the clerk and he says, right, have a fucking real warrant now. Send him home. And as I walked out, the BSM was like, big smirk on his face, like, yeah, you're going back to work. And I was like, with a real warrant in my hand going, just got 3 weeks leave. I'll see you in 3 weeks. He was fuming.
Class.
Went home for 3 weeks. Ended up with a pest infection, I think it was. Got bedded down by a semi doctor.
No way.
They kept forgetting to send me a whale warrant up for my missus and my daughter. Right. So I was away for 6 weeks.
That's class.
Turned up late for work. When I got back, I thought I'll sneak in, no one will know. Right, I'm going to get a bollock for being 3 weeks late, but it's their fault. Fucking what? I got a lift back to camp because I missed the transport.
Yeah.
Bomb scare on in camp. Everyone's on parade. As the duty driver pulls up and I climb out the Land Rover. I thought, fuck me, they didn't welcome me back.
No way.
So I couldn't even sneak in. There was like, everyone just stood there looking at us, started applauding. I was like, hello.
That's brilliant, that.
I blamed the battery clerk, you know what I mean? So he never fucking sent us a real one, fuck it. So you've left the army then, and you said you'd gone into security. Did you want to do that, or was it just like, because that's all it was?
I think it was just a norm. Like I said, I did infantry, and the only qualification I got when I was there was my fucking driving licence that we did at Leckensfield. That's it. It's the only thing I ever did. So I still didn't have any GCSEs, didn't have any quals, didn't have any experience in anything, and I sort of had this attitude, because everyone tells you, don't they? When you go in the army...
just to interrupt there as well, I've glossed over the subject that when you left. You know, we've gone on that tangent, and I never pulled myself.
No, it's all right.
So you said you were MD'd, or did the MD at the end? Yeah.
Yeah, the MD does, yeah.
So was that a proper MD, or was it just like fucking get out the door type of thing?
No, it was like MD, and I got a little bit of money, not fucking loads, do you know what I mean? But yeah, they basically just got rid of us and was like, listen, just do what you want to do, just get out, we'll sort you a settlement out.
If you don't mind me asking, what did the MD you for? Was it?
So I had a really bad fucking ankle injury, which I had a couple of operations on as well. So that was giving me loads of shit. And it was causing me a load of shit in Afghan as well, but it sort of made it worse, and you just push on through it, don't you?
Yeah.
But one thing, when I'd come back, I was like, I need to sort this ankle out because it's completely fucked. So I ended up having, well, this was pre-Afghan, but I had a load of pins and plates put in my ankle because I'd done my ankle. That was another thing. It's fucking nothing. You've just done this, that, and the other. So for a few years, I was just going to the med centre going, my ankles are fucked. I don't know what's going on, but something's not right. And I'd rolled my ankle on a run. This was like a couple of years before. And just over and over again after that, I just kept rolling it. And I'd torn my tendon, like permanently, in my foot. and just thought nothing of it. So I just kept going over and over and over, making it worse and worse and worse. And even to the point, we'd do like a CFT on a Friday, and like I'd come in and not be able to walk after it.
Yeah.
And it was bad. So they sort of used that in a sense to get us out. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they give you what you wanted. Might not have been what you wanted in the end, really. But
Yeah. I mean, look, mate,
I'm still
it's all
annoyed.
meant to happen.
And well, I don't know. I'm quite annoyed that you got treated that way. Whether it was right or wrong in their eyes or not, I can see it kind of from both sides. Even in my career, we'd see the guys who were arseholes. You know what I mean? We'd call arseholes. Then later on, you think, actually, they weren't. They were crying out for help, and we didn't give them it, or they weren't given. Because we're all guilty of fucking hell, that's him over there type of thing. And it happened. It happened loads and loads of times.
100%.
Yeah.
Because mental health was never a thing. Like,
no.
Depression was never a thing. Like, it didn't physically exist. Like, and I said this, it never existed, mate. Like, I left school, so like, again, in school, depression wasn't a thing. No kids were depressed or anything like that. And then I've gone to a place straight after school where, again, it didn't exist. Mental health. So like when I came out and people said about mental health problems and PTSD and all these things, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like I was completely, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
People, you were just.
It was there. I'll tell you what, for an example, right?
Yeah.
We had a guy in my first regiment. He was a bit fucking mad. He was fucking a lot mad. He was crazy. But he used to do weird things. Like he'd come in the guard room and just start rolling around on the floor. And we were just, but it was just like to gain attention type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We thought that of him, or he'd be walking around with a limp, trying to get people to feel sorry for him and stuff like that. And he'd be like, "The fuck, weird." And then he went AWOL. Or we thought he'd gone AWOL. Basically, we thought he'd gone AWOL. He disappeared for a weekend, and then a few days into the week, everyone thinks, And it wasn't until one of the cleaners went in the officers' mess annex that was empty, which she'd been told to go in and get it ready for people coming in, that she found him hanging in the stairwell, and he'd been there for a good few days. So you can imagine what that looked like, to that last walk in there. He'd just gone in there and fucking hung himself, and nobody, nobody knew why, but obviously he had issues, but fucking hell, you just think he's a fucking fruitcake. You just fucking stay away from it, type of thing.
Mate, since I've left,
time to there,
Yeah, mate. Since I've left, I think 4 people have committed suicide from who was in my unit since leaving.
I see it all the time. I mean, I've lost 3 mates who've took their own lives, and other people who've attempted it, and it wasn't. And the worst thing is for one of them, he was fucking great lad. He was with us on a FTRS appointment. He was ex Stafford's actually. He was getting help. He was getting help from the NHS, but they were so on demand. And the morning he did it, he called them for help and said, "Look, if you don't fucking come and help me now, I won't be here at the end of the day." And they didn't do anything. They just put it down to fucking cry for help type of thing. And it was too late. His wife at the time, he hadn't long been married. I mean, she's fought hard and long. She's appeared in front of Parliament and stuff like that, and they've done amazing things to highlight, mental health and the suicide for forces and stuff like that. But I mean, we can't be. Let's put it this way: we can't be greedy about it. Every profession suffers from it as well. The building trade is one of the biggest. Do you know what I mean? But I can't comment on that. I can't comment on that, and I don't want people to think that just because we were in the military and we're saying, "Oh yeah, mental health this, mental health that we don't appreciate that other industries, other aspects of life have got the same, the same problems, because they do. It's just that
Yeah,
we can comment on the way we see it and the way it's affected us and affected the families and there's people still serving with suffering from it and fuck
yeah,
knows what's going to happen in the future. It's better than it was. It's a lot better than it was. I know that for a fact from
yeah, yeah.
experience through Up Courage. It's got a lot better. I wouldn't say I wouldn't be here. I've had plenty of dark thoughts of and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't mind sharing one of them. I always wanted to drive into a wall, driving the motorway. Right, there's a fucking bridge coming. I'll just fucking swerve, and that'll be it. And then I wouldn't, because I knew for a fact with my luck, I've never won the lottery, but with my luck, I'd hit the bridge. I'd end up having to pay for the fucking bridge over it. My car's knackered, and I'll be in pain, and I'll survive. So what's the fucking point? Just carry on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that was that part of my brain's going, yeah, do it. This part of the brain's going, don't be fucking stupid. And
It's a
luckily,
weird
this
old
part of the
place to
brain
be
won.
in it.
Yeah, your
It's a
fucking
weird
mind's
old,
mad. It is. It's
and
crazy.
mate, I'm so grateful that that time was the only time I've ever the little bits after, but when Matt died and stuff like that, like I lost my shit. I'm well aware that looking back now, I'm well aware that I completely, at points, completely fucking lost my mind. But after that, apart from like a few bits here and there a year where I'd left and just go a bit fucking weird for a couple of months. Apart from that, I've always been sort of all right, and I think that is literally down to just me telling myself, and it's fucking sad, like telling yourself, what the fuck are you doing? This isn't real, blah, blah, blah. You need to crack on. And that attitude that you always taught, crack on, stop being a divvy. Do you know what I mean? Like all them things that you're told, oh, it's not a problem, this is fake. And do you know what I mean? All that things. And I've just absolutely drilled that into myself. And, I've never even had a counselling session. Like I've always just gone, just crack on. Need to fucking crack on. Do you know what I mean? And get shit done. And now I'm really grateful that I am absolutely fine. Life is fucking amazing, and I'm almost grateful for all them experiences because they've now shaped who I am today. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's who you surround yourself with as well.
100%. Yeah.
That's
Don't get me
the.
wrong. If I went out now drinking and fucking smashing, devil's dandruff and stuff like that all the time, I would fucking lose my shit. Completely lose my shit. But I know that if I go down that road, that's what's going to happen. So I
Yeah.
don't.
Good. I'm trying to get off the beer. Fuck that! I don't want it. I love it.
Yeah. But if you enjoy it, mate, as long as you're not going, mad and stuff like that, like, why not? If that's what you enjoy doing, fucking do it. But as long as you're not completely abusing it, if that's what makes you happy, that's what makes you happy.
Yeah, everything to moderation in the end, really.
Yeah.
So you've left the military, you've gone into security. I take it that's not where you wanted to end up, even though it sounded as though you were doing quite well.
No, no. And what it was, mate, and this was only March last year I'd left the security industry completely. So I was nearly working there for 10 years. And it was fucking toxic, mate. And it was getting to the point where I was going into work and, like, I would say, like, jokingly to the missus, like, I'm going to kill someone today at work. I'm going to fucking blow someone's head off. And, like, she'd just laugh or say this, that, and the other, whereas I was being fucking serious. Do you know what I mean? I was genuinely at the point where I'm like, I can't mentally do this anymore, but I need to go anyway to earn the money, like. I was on a really good wage. I was on 102 and a half grand a year. I had a fucking gold Amex card, company car, with all the benefits included. It was great. But that whole environment was making me paranoid. It was weird. Most people that work there were fucking bellends. And I hope you're watching this if you are watching this. But it was a shit place surrounding to work in, and it was making me really, really unhealthy. And it was horrid. So, cut a very, very long story short. So I used to race bikes. So at one of the rounds, my bike blew up. So it's British Supermoto that I used to race. My bike had blown up at one of the rounds, so I couldn't get my bike fixed for the next round. And I'd never touched the camera in my life before this, but I basically said to the club owner, I said, listen, I'm sure my sister's got a camera at home. What if I did a little highlights video? We'll put it on YouTube. I've never touched the camera, so, just bear with me sort of thing, but I'll try and do my best. We'll do that. We'll put it on YouTube and we'll see how it goes. Now, I used to make all my own music and stuff like that, and DJ and stuff like that. So, creative wise, it was something that interested us a little bit to do. That's why I have to do it. So basically, I did this video. We put it on YouTube within just a couple of weeks. It had 21,000 plays on YouTube, but it had brought like $5,000 in, ticket sales and entries and stuff in for like the next round of the championship. So the guy who owns the championship said, listen, Rich, I want you to do one of them for every single round going forward. I was like, well, I want to ride my fucking bike. I'll get it fixed for the next round. And he said, well, what if you race on the Saturday? What if you do the video on the Saturday, race on the Sunday? We'll waive your entry fees and I'll pay you as well. So I was like, right, okay, this pays for me racing. I've got a bit of money spare. I can do this, that, and the other. So I was like, yeah, buzzing. So I started doing that.
That's not a cheap hobby, that superbikes, is it?
No. So this was Supermoto.
I've got a friend who does it, yeah.
So it's Supermoto I used to do. Funnily enough, my bike actually blew up at Teesside. If you know what's it, Teesside karting track.
Yeah.
Not too far from you. That Teesside Autodrome. So that was there. And yeah, it wasn't fucking cheap at all. So I was buzzing. So I started doing all these highlights videos, and within 4 months, I was working with every major championship for motorsports in the UK. I was doing stuff like the British GT. British Superbikes, World Superbikes, went to Spain, with Navarra when they were over there, British Mini Bikes, like all the British Championships I was doing within 4 months of doing that first video. And I just thought, fucking hell, this is working well. Like, I've got no time to sleep, but this is brilliant. I'm getting good money on top of already a good wage. And yeah, I'm fucking enjoying doing it. I'm just going motorsport events all weekend, but I was having no time at home whatsoever. And because of all the editing and stuff like that, I was literally coming, I'd go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, drive to Runcorn, and then I'd get home at, say, 6 o'clock, I'd have me tea, kids would go to bed, and I'd jump on the laptop and fucking start editing away. So I had zero time, and then I was away all weekend filming again. So I had no time whatsoever, and work was getting worse and worse and worse in the sense of, like, we'd got bought out. It's all big, messy story. Like, we got bought out, we went bust, fucking changeover, a load of stuff with a load of fucking Liverpool gangsters. And it's proper messy, but that's a story for another time.
But I'm quite intrigued now.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was mental, mate. But that all happened, and then, because of all changeover, I was doing stupid hours, mate. There was times where, and this is at the time when, as operations director as well, we'd get to 6 o'clock where changeover had come, and everybody'd go home. The MD would go home, the managers, and I'd be like, there's fucking 4 people turned up to work. People are left on site. It's like, we need to cover these shifts. And they'd all be like, oh, fuck it, whatever. The MD, she was a fucking rat. I'm going to go and get my nails done, and I'm going home, I've got this. And I was like, there's 4 people waiting on site to go home. And it goes back to that thing of, no matter how shite it is, the fucking job needs to get done. And I'd sit there, and I'd covered like 3 of the shifts, got there, covered 3 of the shifts, and like, right, there's 1 left. I physically can't find anyone for this shift. So I'd fuck off to site. And after working a full day shift, I'd go man the site then until the morning shift to get there. So it's doing like 24-hour shifts sometimes when you couldn't get a bloke. So I'd do all these things, and then it was one weekend I was going to British Superbikes in Spain and Navarra to do a load of filming, all expenses spared, paid good money to do so. And I was sat in Manchester Airport, and I got an email off HR. who absolutely hated me because she was terrible at what she did, and I just call her out at every opportunity possible on how shit she was, because she was a horrible person. So she sent me an email saying, we need a performance review about your performance. And I just thought, and this was like 2 days before I'd done a 26-hour shift to cover a site. So she was trying to stitch me up. And I just thought, fuck you, mate. Like, I'm done with this. I'm so done with this. Like, I'm not happy. I'm on my way to Spain to do something I'm really, really enjoying, getting paid really good money for it. So fuck it. So I literally just emailed her back saying, I quit. You got your wish. See you later. So I quit my job, and I rang the missus and I went, Kirst, I've quit my job. She went, you fucking done what? I says, I've quit. I'm done. Absolutely done with it. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to do this video marketing stuff, and I'm going to make it work, I promise. So she starts going mad. You fucking mental. Bloody. We had just had a little boy a year before. And she was like, you're mental. All the family, friends, everyone were like, you're stupid. You're on 100 grand a year. You're going to quit your job to go and do this Ponzi video stuff and this, that, and the other. And I was just like, I'll make it work. It'll be absolutely fine. I was like, I'm literally ready to blow someone's head off. I need to get out of this space, because if I don't, I'm going to do something really, really fucking stupid that I'll later regret. So I did that. Fast forward then, a year. So we did 126 grand turnover in the first year doing just that, just the video. Second year, the account was just doing the end of the year, and we've done 260 in the second year we're doing it with no experience, no knowledge about it whatsoever, all from that first video, and just doing something that I wanted to do. And having that, because one thing I used to get really wound up over, I knew what needed doing. With a lot of these jobs and all these jobs that I've had since, you know what needs to be done. And when you go to someone and say, right, we need to get this done, and either it makes them look stupid, or, we haven't got the resources, or, whatever stop somebody doesn't want to do it because it'll make them look bad, or, whatever that reason may be, I was always hitting roadblocks. In every job that I was in, I was always hitting roadblocks. I was like, right, this needs to be done, but we need to do this. And you'd always hit a roadblock, so it'd never get done. And it fucking boiled me, like, because nobody cared. Nobody, even though it wasn't my business, I was trying to tell a business owner, we need to do this. They just didn't care. No, costs too much, this, that, and the other. So I just think I stepped into my own little world and did my own thing. And I was able to just hit it full on, do everything that I wanted to do, but also from like a strategic point of view, go, right, I need to do this. I'm going to get this done. And it has just gone from strength to strength ever since.
That's amazing. It really is. I mean, I'm quite jealous.
Okay.
I really am. I'm like,
mate, but this is it. I was like we were saying before. There's no reason why you can't do exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing.
There is. It's called a pair of fucking balls. That's what that is.
But you've got to set. Don't prove it, but you have got to set down there.
Hang on. Dip the camera down. It'd have to have a pretty good zoom lens, mate. I'll tell you that.
But do you know what I mean? So many people are just scared to start. But if you fucking started, which you have, you're already on the road there. You've done it. Like, you've started. It's just a case of doing fucking more episodes now. Like, and you'll be on to a winner.
Yeah, well, like I said, to me, it's a hobby. I don't think I'd want it to take over. I say to take over my life, it fucking has. Or to become dependent on it, if you know what I mean. You never know what will happen in the future.
Mate, it's whatever makes you happy. Whatever you're happy doing, do that.
And, one of the best things for me about it is I get to meet more people. One of the things that I suffered with once I left the army was I lost touch with everyone. That was down to me. It wasn't down to other people. But we all do that. We do that thing in the military where you don't see each other for a long time, and you just gel again straight away when you see each other. You've heard the expression, I haven't seen it for 20 years, and we just carried on the last conversation we had when we first seen each other. And you've done that, and it does happen. Yeah. But it's that time in between. Excuse me. It's that time in between where you don't think about all the other people and stuff like that. I didn't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
about them, and I got to a point where I didn't realise that I wasn't wanting to leave the house and stuff like that.
yeah.
And through the counselling that I've had, throat's getting dry. I know I drank before. Is that I'd never accepted me leaving the military type of thing. I'd
Mm.
never settled. There was no finality for me. It was I just kind of walked into Civvy Street. There was no leave and dues or anything like that. And I know it took me a long time to accept that I wasn't in the army anymore. And it's only recent,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's only recently after being out 12 years that kind of things finally hit home.
And I wonder whether that, because you've had a totally different experience to me. I wonder
Yeah,
whether that is because you were there and nothing as such happened from sort of like the army against you. I
yeah,
wonder whether I was able to break away from that a lot easier because I sort of was like, "Fuck this." Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And because you didn't get
You
that,
weren't institutionalized. I was.
yeah, yeah, and that's not a bad thing. Like, it's a fucking easy thing to happen, and I felt really sorry for a lot of people
Yeah, we
in
fall into the pension trap.
yeah, 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 yeah. And it's, mate, not only that though, but, one thing, you know, uh, another platoon sergeant said, "Oh, fucking hell, Thrower, I don't know why you're getting out. There's nothing behind them fucking gates for you." And I was just like, how the fuck do you know that? You've been here for 22 years, you couldn't, like,
Yeah,
how would you know that? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's so, you look back now and I feel sorry for people because what's on it. Don't get me wrong. There's good experiences, there's bad experiences in the army, but it's completely made me as a person who I am, and it's given me so many different values and stuff like that, and like that'll always stay with me.
Yeah.
But if you go out into Civvy Street and use them, especially on your own business, you will fucking fly. You will absolutely fly.
And again, a load of guys I've spoke to who've done exactly the same thing. They've the sensibility where they got out of the military. They've used that going forward. God, I hate that
Yeah,
expression, going forward. I don't know why. I
going
just,
forward.
yeah, moving forward. Oh, fuck off, right? Everything. It just does me nothing. I hear people saying it all the time. So, right, moving forward. No, certain thing. I'm getting old. I'm like fucking Victor Meldrew for fuck's sake. For our younger viewers, yeah, it's
Class.
like they've used the same mentality almost that you have as well. They've used their lessons from the military, and that can do attitude,
Yeah,
and they've strived, And there's other guys who've come out of the military and tried with them values or just not succeeded. Not everyone's going to make it. Not everyone's, some people are going to
yeah.
be passed by and stuff like that. Some people are happy to just muddle on and be happy,
It's
just to
whatever makes you
fucking,
happy,
it's
mate.
whatever makes you happy,
Yeah,
and people shouldn't feel let down by
obliged to do
themselves
it.
if they, but no, but feel let down by themselves for not reaching certain goals and stuff like that.
Yeah,
If you're at a happy place and you're a comfortable time in your life, fucking
yeah,
male menopause, point at yourself. You've got to be happy with your lot.
yeah.
If you're not,
100%.
find something else to do, or encourage yourself to find something else to do and see if you
Yeah,
enjoy it. No. I mean, you've got this media company now,
yeah,
and it's not just like because I'd like people to look it up. I'll put the links for everything in the show notes
yeah.
and stuff
Nice
like
one,
that.
mate.
So I'd like fucking I'll use it as advertising type of thing.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
three and
yeah.
a half the 3.5 people who listen to this, one of them might want a wedding video. I don't know. Or show his fucking kid on a fucking push bike or something. You never know. But it could be, use it as advertising. So not just, it's not like just the super bikes and stuff like that that you do within your media company. Can you just explain a bit more about other aspects of it and other? Because I've seen like you do podcast type things and stuff like that, interviews with
Yeah,
people. Do you just want to give us a talk about that as well, please?
yeah, of course. So our main sort of thing is video, social media, and paid advertising. They're the three things I know that we're really good at. Anything else outside of that, I outsource to various different people who are shit at what they do. Um, and the podcast stuff, that is something that I really enjoy, and you'll probably relate to this in the sense of you meet so many interesting people, but you also learn so much by interviewing all these people. And it really interests me. But not only that, the amount of business that I've got out of just doing podcasts with a few people is absolutely mental, absolutely nuts. So there's loads of different aspects of it that sort of like that. But I've actually just started a new company called, so the website's www.peakpotential.world. And the reason it's an online membership platform. So what that is for people to go on and learn and literally become experts in sales, marketing, you know, being successful on YouTube and how to do it step by step, how to run a successful podcast, how to get it out there, how to market that, music production, business knowledge, tax, like anything mental well-being, obviously a big one, your mental health, mindset, well-being, what you can do to improve every aspect of your life. And we've got some amazing people involved in as mentors, trainers and stuff like that. But not only that, it's at a really affordable rate. So like I've spent north of £20,000 on mentoring courses for businesses and stuff like that over the past couple of years. And one thing I noticed when I tell all my mates and people that I know in business and stuff, you need to get on this course, you need to do this, you need to do that on that course. It's brilliant. It's changed the game for me. So many people always turn around and go, well, I can't afford £8,000 for a course. I can't afford £10,000 for a course. I can't afford £2,000 for a course. So I just thought to myself, well, I've done all these brilliant things now in such still a short space of time. Even though it's 2 years, it's still short space. But what if I can do something for people who were exactly the same place as me, and fast forward their sort of journey? If they want to start a business, if they want to do all this, I often get people on social saying, how did you do what you do? How did you start? How did you do this? And how did you do that? And I was just like, I could offer so much, and I'm lucky enough to know so many people in all these different spaces that are experts in what they do with like the YouTube stuff, the mindset and mentoring and business coaching and stuff like that. I was like, so I literally just asked a load of my mates and just said, I want to do this. Would you be interested? And they all went, yeah, fucking definitely. That'd be brilliant. So we started that. That's all live now. Content goes on there every single week. We've got some unbelievable people coming on. Like, it is absolutely mental. And the lowest tier starts at £10 a month, and the highest one is £80 a month. Being an £80 a month one being literally sort of, in whatever aspect it is you want to do, a professional within that space will literally hold your hand through the whole process and tell you exactly what you need to do and show you exactly what you need to do. So it's completely affordable for anyone, anyone. And one thing I'm doing for the ex-forces, anyone that's ex-forces and ex-police, anyone that's, served, whether you've done a tour, whether you've not done a tour, it doesn't matter. Whatever membership tier they sign up for, I'll upgrade them to the next one completely free. So like if they sign up for the 10 one, I'll upgrade them to the £30. If they sign up for the £30, I'll upgrade them to the £80 completely free. Just need to provide some, whether it's a picture of them in the army or whatever it is.
What have I got?
Yeah.
I've got a flag. I've got a flag, look.
But and it's just so obviously that's one side of it. So that the ideal. So we've been speaking to like the army resettlement team and stuff like that about getting it rolled out to every single person that leaves the forces as well. So that's really interesting at the moment. So because let's face it, you get a ship resettlement. I got £1,000 3 times. It was horrendous. I've gone to them and said, listen, instead of you spending that money, you could spend £80 a month on blokes and literally guide them through in whatever they want for whatever amount of time. So it's perfect, it's cost effective for them, it's fucking brilliant, and it'll guarantee results. But then also, off the back of that, a minimum, and this is a minimum of 10% of the profit that comes through on the memberships, is going to ex-forces living on the streets, and that's going to be spent directly. So whether that's accommodation, rehab centres, fucking counselling sessions, mental health help, like anything, you know, kids' Christmas presents, like anything at all.
Yeah.
Anything that, you know, people that, you know, both me and you have done the same thing, just need help, because there's so many, you know, fuckeries now with charities, and, you know, I'm sure you've seen bloody loads yourself, you know, there's so many scams and stuff going on, and I'm sure they do help a couple of people, but, you know, Help for Heroes is an example. Like, I boycott them all the time because they've got so much money sat in the bank, and they could literally sort out the fucking problem like that.
So I
And
had an interesting quote said to me in one of the interviews from Godfrey
yeah,
Bloom.
yeah,
Quite a divisive person. A lot of people
yeah,
like him. A lot of people loathe him. I
yeah,
felt one of the nicest blokes I've ever met. In reality,
yeah,
but he said to me, "Look, if you're willing to pay into a charity, check what the CEO gets paid. If the
yeah,
CEO of that charity gets paid more than you do not pay into that charity because they're wasting their money."
yeah,
And I'd never thought of that. And I was like, "Fucking
yeah,
yeah, he's right. He's actually right." You know,
yeah,
whether people like him or not, he's right in that respect. I think he is.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
spoken to guys, I've spoken to guys from they've set up We Served. I've interviewed a guy from the Northern Ireland Veterans Awards scheme,
yeah,
and they've both, similar to you, they're coming out with paid models that
yeah,
people sign up for. The way We Serve look at it, it's Amazon for ex-forces. You're paying a monthly fee, and you're getting certain levels of, they're not offering the same sort of type of things that you're offering. There is some overlap. Don't get me wrong,
yeah,
but they're not doing that. The guy who I spoke to in Northern Ireland, he said basically we're doing it as a paid service, almost like a recruiting service, but you've got to pay towards it.
yeah,
And and I've watched other things about this and read other things about this, and what it is if you're paying for something, you'll use it,
yeah,
right? A lot of people out there think just because I'm a veteran, I should be given everything, right? No, and that's not the people you want either.
no,
You do,
no, no,
it's not. I do. I want everything for fucking free, right?
don't we
Because I'm
all?
tight. But that's not up to the veteran. I'm just a tight
No.
ass. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But if you're
yeah,
willing, if you pay for something, you will use it, and
yeah,
then
and
that'll benefit because it will get used.
yeah, and it's that two-tiered thing to it, you know. Not only cause, and the actual platform and the use of the platform isn't dedicated just for people who are ex-forces. Like, the benefit and the profit, yes, that is, because that's something that's close to my heart. But the actual platform itself, this can be anyone. People that are unemployed who haven't been in the forces can use it to, you know, gain that knowledge, get into a job that they want to do, or get into a trade that they want to get into. You know, it could be a lady who's had a kid and wants to get back into work and wants to pick up a business and, you know, just make money off a laptop at home. You know, it could be absolutely anyone that walks on this planet could go onto that platform and learn something
Yeah.
in whatever it is that you want to do. And it's all relevant stuff. And it's a lot around like the creative industry and stuff. But then there's also, you know, the business knowledge. And these are these are literally experts within all them spaces, like who, you know, and I've blagged, poked, punched and gripped people who are charging people thousands and thousands of pounds for their courses, and they're on here doing it at £10 a month. Do you know what I mean? So it's fucking brilliant. But not only is that aspect helping people, it's all the end result is we are going out, and I am single-handedly gonna fucking pull every single ex-forces off the streets.
I mean, that's a bold statement.
Yeah,
That's a bold
but why
statement,
not?
mate. And I
It's
wish you fucking well, mate. I'm laughing because fuck me, I know how that'll be. I'm not laughing because I think you're fucking mental. You are. Well, I
yeah.
do think you're
Well,
mental, but
that's
that's
right.
another thing. The fucking it's a bold statement, and I wish you really the best of luck with that. You know what I mean?
Nice one, mate.
It's a tall task.
Yeah,
And
no, of
fingers crossed.
course. And don't
And if
get me
there's anything
wrong,
I can
there
do
is
to help
people.
help you with that, I'll fucking do my best.
Mate, nice one. Appreciate that. But, and there is, don't get me wrong, all charities are not the same. There's
No.
so many fucking people doing amazing, unbelievable things for like ex-forces. And it's brilliant, but it's them big ones that completely fucking ruin it for people that, when I came out and started really fucking struggling because I just lost my head, I'd rang Help for Heroes, I'd rang Soldiers Off the Street, I'd rang all the Legion, I'd rang all these charities who were helping people when they come out and come back from Afghanistan and this, that, and the other. It was massive at the time. Helping all these people do all these things, and I rang every single one of them, and every single one, I think bar the Legion, every single one, it was like 20 people, told us, we're a little bit busy at the moment. And this is exactly what they said. We're a little bit busy at the moment, but what we'll do, we'll take your number, we'll take your details and your email, and we'll get in contact with you as soon as we can help you. And I was like, right, okay, sound. Now, I've not changed my number, I've not changed my email since then fucking day, and I have not heard a fucking thing, Frankie. So I call bullshit. They are a scam, mate. They are an absolute
There's
scam.
plenty out there that are. There's plenty out there that are. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
And I posted a video, mate.
In all honesty, a lot of these, the small, it's the smaller charities that are doing the bigger work.
Exactly.
And they're doing the best.
Absolutely
The one,
spot on.
the one that I went with, or got put with, was the East Durham Veterans Trust, and Andy Camus, who's running that, fucking amazing. Honestly, for what he's doing,
Mate, you'll have to put us in
amazing.
touch, like.
Oh,
you'll have to put us in touch.
Don't worry, I'm going to.
Yeah.
I interviewed him 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm trying to think. Even at work today, I'm sat there thinking, what can I do to fucking help him?
Yeah.
And that's
amazing.
why I think out today about anyone who donates to buy me a coffee from now to the end of December, whatever money goes into there, I'll give to me. And today I've had a £5. Wow, it's a £5. It's a £5 lot. I mean, you fucking paid it, but that's
fair play, mate, to you to doing it as well, though.
But and I hope that people do that, or I'll think of other ways where I can help them, because they've helped me.
Yeah,
and I've
mate, literally just something as small as getting members on that platform and just telling people, because the end result of that is all the goodness. That's where it goes.
Yeah.
And anyone as well that like you say, that anyone that who's doing brilliant things and stuff, who can back himself up and stuff like that, I'd love to get in touch with them and see how I can help them, because there's going to be a lot of traffic going through that website, and there's going to be a lot of people turning up and a lot of people subscribing, so there's going to be a lot of money there to help directly. None of this fucking 1p per pound gets spent. Like, no, I'm spending an absolute fortune, and I've put north of 20 grand of my own money in to set this up to make it happen. So it is gonna, it's got to work, and it will work. It will work. There's no doubt in my mind that it won't work.
Right then, I think we've come to the end of our time. We've got the end of your story, and look forward to what's going to be coming on in the future. We'll have to stay in touch, really will, because I want to see what's going to happen.
100%, mate. 100%.
And it's the first time that you anybody sat in the car. That's quite interesting.
With a ring light.
I think somebody was eating crisps a lot, so sweeties or something, because I could hear that.
You're gonna ag you.
I'm like, fucking hell, shut up.
That's fucking brilliant.
Hey, it is what it is, isn't it? It's good.
Mate,
but again, mate, thanks for coming on, mate. I've really enjoyed it. It's been
an absolute pleasure talking to you, and nice one for having us on, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Right, I'll stop the recording now then, if I can see it. I hope you enjoyed that podcast. I enjoyed recording it. If you could just hit the like button, and also if you could subscribe and hit the notification bell, that'd be great, because it'll help the channel grow. The more people will see it, the bigger it'll get, and the more guests I can get on, and the more people I can talk to. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, like I said. Look forward to the next one. Hopefully we'll be out next week as normal. Bye-bye now.